going to look at activity 4. We've finished our pseudocode, our drawings. I've not included a drawing in this example, but remember again, in the example task booklet, I've given you ideas of what you need to include. So here I've put in the table, the pseudocode, block diagrams, and circuit diagrams as well. Okay, there's my circuit diagram. Right, this is the circuit diagram as well. So that was the previous activity. Now we come to activity 4. And it's a system assembly and programming. Let's look at the actual handout that you will get from the exam. This is where you build, and this is where you code, basically. When you code, remember, if you have, I don't think you'll have any screenshots, but if you have written notes, if you've scribbled something, if you've drawn block diagrams just to help you think, just include that as well as evidence for the examiner to see. The main two things really for this that you want to include, that you will need to include are, it will be your actual code and photos of your build, of your circuit, the one that you built on breadboard. Okay, those are the two main ones that need to go in. If you have anything more that you've happened to do, like block diagrams or little sketches, you can include that as well. For your code, just copy and paste all your code and put it here. That's all. Simple as that. Of course, it's helpful to give it the title so that the examiner can see. So you can say Arduino code, for example. And then just copy and paste everything underneath there. And put in any photos of circuits in there. And that's it. That's all I have to say for activity 4. When you build it, remember to put in as many remarks as you can. So using remarks is not just helpful for you, it is also helpful for the examiner to see what's going on, so that the examiner can give you the marks for all your hard work. The other one is photos of circuit. So remember, you can take photos or you can scan. You'll be given a camera of some kind that you can take photos of the circuit, and then include that in this Word document. And that's all I have to say for activity 4. To activity 5, and this is system testing and results analysis. This is for you to show and to check actually that your design, where it is working, where it is not working, and where it is not working, you can show that, and that gives you the chance as well to show your thinking and your understanding of what the problem could be and how to solve it. Okay, so the first one is the test plan template that you have to do. And the first step is to fill in the activity, these first 4 columns based on what you wrote for activity 2. So just go back to activity 2. You wrote all these things: the purpose of test condition, expected result, and place all that in the table underneath. So I'm going to, you just do the first one here. Hopefully I'll be able to paste it without any problems. If there are problems, then what you do is just look back and forth and manually type it in, and that will be good enough as well. So let's see if I can paste. I'm going to paste, insert as a new row, overwrite cells. No, I think I need to start here. So now right click, overwrite cells. There we go. So it's gone in here without causing too many problems. The formatting is still nice. It was test number 1. So once you've programmed it and all that, so it says to enter the number of minutes to count down from. If you remember, the way that I was suggesting for this, or pretending that I would do it, is that I would have a button, and every time when I held down the button, it would increase it from 2 to 3 to 4, and it would take about half a second before it would increase it by another amount of time. So that means I'm holding down the button, and for as long as I hold down the button, every half second it will increase the program time from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 minutes, right? What happens? Well, the actual result could be, yes, to hold down not hold down, that's what you're doing. The actual result is the programmed time shown by LEDs increases from 2 to 6 minutes in steps of 1 minute. I will say, you don't have to write so long, but this is just one way of putting it that I can think of right now. Increasing each time after 500 milliseconds. There's probably a shorter way of doing it. I can't, but since I've typed that in, I'm going to go in here. So my actual result basically is that it worked in this way, and I just described what I saw. Okay, so in my actual result, I'm writing down what I actually see, and we'll pretend that for this, it actually works nicely. So in your comments and justification, you can put simply as works as expected. All right. The next one is, I can't remember what the final it was, but I'm going to say at this point to test, shall we say, indicates when countdown is complete. I can't remember if that was number 2. This is just my example that I'm going to show you. So the test condition is that user set countdown time and started the countdown and actually we don't have to go back that far down. I'll just say user started the countdown complete. Right, that's a test condition. Expected result, what will we say? For example, the buzzer will sound. Now let's imagine that when you do it, for some reason the buzzer is kind of, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's fine. You can say buzzer does not always sound or does not sound consistently. Not consistently, what do we mean by that? Well, maybe if you kind of moved it a little bit, it would work, and then it would stop working. Well, in this case, it's not working. There's something wrong. This is where you get the chance to write about it and get the marks. So you can say, for example, buzzer stops working if it is moved, for example. So we can say probably an electrical connection, perhaps due to poor wiring connection, for example. So this, I'm just giving you this number 2 to show you that when you have a fault, it actually gives you the chance to think a little bit more deeply and to show your thinking, and this is where you get the marks as well. And you would do that now for the rest of it. Now remember to include the enhancements. you don't have to do too many of the enhancements. So I'll give you an example. So for activity 5, okay, we've copy and pasted it. Write everything here for first the client requirements, and then have at least one test of the enhancement, and put that always at the end. Do the requirements first and then give your extras at the end. Okay, and again, check this task booklet example for pointers on what to fill in. And once you finish that, you have finished activity 5 and you're ready for activity 6. Now, in activity 6, you have the requirement to show your device working by using a video. So this is your video. Remember that you have a few requirements as to how it works. So let's see what they tell you in the exam. Well, please write your name, learner registration number, and center number at the start. So have a piece of paper, write down all this information, and leave that in the frame of your video so it's showing there all the time. Give a commentary explaining how it works, and what you can do is just give a general description and demo to show the thing working. And finally, you go through the suitable tests, meaning the tests written here. And what you do is just look at what you've written and go through all the test numbers. Remember, when the test fails, you have to demo to show that it has failed. Okay, so that's one. And I'll just write this in here to remind you a bit later on. So if it failed, show in your demo that it's failed. You don't have to spend time, and do not spend time discussing why and your justification and your thinking. Not in the video. In your video, just show that it failed, and then you can say, in my table, for task number 2, as you can see, it does not work properly, and I have written in task number 2 my thoughts as to why, and leave it there. Do not discuss the actual thing in the video. Remember that it needs to be less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes is actually plenty, but still a good thing to do is before you start talking about it, just scribble down on a piece of paper the points that you're going to talk about. And just run through once without the camera so you kind of get used to the things that you want to talk about in there. And you do not write anything about the video in this task booklet. What you do is the invigilator will have a camera, and you will record the video, and the invigilator will either give that to you, or they will combine it with your submissions, and then that will be sent to the exam board. So you only have 2 documents to send. One is a PDF of all this work that you've done, and the other one is the video itself. And the video itself, actually, you may not be sending it. That may be done by the college for you on your behalf. Now, let's just have a look at the example again to see if we have anything. Well, I've written down a few things to remind you in your preparation for activity 6. And once you finish that, that's it really. Now, once you finish typing in your document, remember that I'll just tie up all the information. Remember that when you finish at the end of each day, so there will be 4 days of doing it, including the final day when you are doing the video and all that. At the end of it, then you can fill in your Gantt chart. That's at the end of everything. You fill in the actual of the Gantt chart, and at the end of each day now, remember to fill in a new page of this whole thing of, this table here. Okay, so this is what you fill in, one for each day. So what you can do is, if you move your mouse there, right click on it, you can copy, and then just add this in underneath it. So you're going to have the next day, add that in. So now you've got another one there. So you've got 1 day, 2 days, and then 3 days, and all the 4 days you can fill that in. So by the end of the exam, you need to have 4 of these things all filled in. Once you filled in all your information, copied and pasted all the pictures, you have put in your Gantt chart, and your Gantt chart, remember, should be put in as a graphic, not as an Excel embedded piece in there. It just needs to be a picture, a graphic that goes in there. Once everything is done, then remember that you need to submit it as a PDF. So what you do is that under Files, you do Save As, and under there, then you will, here, you select PDF and click that and save it as a PDF wherever it is that you want to work on it. And then save that, the PDF, into the file or the folder location that you will be instructed to save it to. So all the details will be given to you on the day of the exam.